from one Diendu. He's back. You wanted me to go over this. God damn it, just from the title. Both of our children are trans. My trans life. What is this gonna be? Oh my god, child abuse.
The reaction when people hear that we have 2 trans kids is pretty shock and awe.
Yeah.
Before I had transitioned, I had like a piece missing to me.
No.
It just didn't feel right, and I was nervous to tell my parents.
Dude, you were like indoctrinated by the internet, and your parents probably were similarly like trying to be trendy, you know? Am I wrong? Like, that's probably way the fuck more common than one would think, you know?
Anyone can be
even we would
whoever
think.
they want.
See, this is dangerous, isn't it? Anyone can be whoever they want, and it doesn't matter what your opinion is. It's sort of a flip. It's like a reversal of the truth, isn't it? It's like, that's what your opinion is. Like, this is your opinion, and it doesn't really matter what your opinion is. Like science, yo.
It doesn't matter what your opinion is.
We're not gonna allow our kids to feel shame or fear. They deserve to feel loved and accepted.
I mean, sure, but they're not, whatever, man. Ugh, this is grooming, man.
Being
yeah.
trans.
Berkeley, of course. We were just talking about San Francisco. Yeah, we're in the Bay Area still.
So,
of course.
to describe it, it would mean you were born the gender that you don't feel like in your heart.
In your heart. So, being trans, to describe it, it would mean you were born the gender that you don't feel like in your heart. Okay. That is not science, dude. That's just children playing with stuffed animals, you know? And imagining things, and just drug-addled parents with really bad fucking politics being propped up with fake banker money, you know, quantitatively ease money, to do it all. It's just, it's insane. Why are they doing this with the fake banker money, of all things? Of all things to destabilize things. Why do this to the kids?
Being trans isn't like weird, and it just means that you are biologically the opposite gender or a different gender than you are.
That's not science, dude. Straight up child abuse. Yeah, pretty much Green Knight.
Okay.
I want breakfast.
You're hungry?
I mean, we all know. I mean, this like gender stuff. It's like hippy dippy, new agey, like coastal elite. You know, like Berkeley, but also like Queens, New York. Like it's based on that John Money thing, right? It's like a fucking freak misinterpretation of that whole thing, which was a freak misinterpretation of its own, right? Like, but somehow it became mainstreamed through just mass indoctrination through fake money created social media platforms, and the hashtag bullshit propaganda that comes with all of that. And
For the last week of school,
the mom, what the fuck is that? Yeah, I
James'
don't know.
graduation is on Friday. Are you nervous about middle?
Dude looks like fucking Anders from Workaholics. What the heck? What the heck? Anders from Workaholics, but with like even like no fucking.
Middle school?
Yeah.
What are you most nervous about, James?
I don't know. Everything?
When James was 8 years old, he asked to transition, which meant a social transition, which is not permanent.
Why the hell does an 8-year-old know what that means? I mean, gee, I wonder if it has anything to do with this uptucking, like as people are saying in the chat, pod person sounding like. Let's see what kind of verbiage she employs, and if it's any surprise to you that her 8-year-old even knows what this is, right?
He got to use he and him for pronouns.
Oy vey.
He then, this past year, changed his name legally and his gender markers legally.
My friend.
Gender markers legally.
Yeah, your friend was going to come over. I think he's coming over this afternoon. It's going to be a hot day.
Can we go to the pool?
No.
Why?
It's like transphobic. They don't come at like.
I always have been a boy, but I started to realize it in first grade when I told
First grade, when the fucking gender transition propaganda and all this fucking weird internet fucking bullshit. I wonder when was this person in first grade? Like 2012, 2013, when that propaganda started to get really, really, really ubiquitous.
my mom I wanted to have my hair short and that I wanted to look less girly.
So James approached us in a casual way by dropping hints from the time he was 7 until he was 8. He would say things like, I'm half boy, half girl, half gorilla.
Full gorilla.
And I would think, you're not good like at math like your mom.
I remember a time that he said to me, sometimes I feel like I'm a boy. And at that point, I was, trying to be a supportive parent and said, yeah, I've got effeminate feelings. And I get that. And that's okay to have feelings that are masculine and feelings that are feminine.
I mean, I'm you can't see me, but I'm doing basically like a fucking stoic, like disapproving Japanese grandfather, I'm like, no, absolutely not. Men expressing feelings like that, I don't care if you want to call them feminine, or I don't care what the hell you call them. You can call them XYZ for all the fuck you want, dude. Like, expressing feelings like this is not cool. I mean, like, come on. Soy Anders, exactly, like, not bro Anders from Workaholics, dude. But then again, Anders probably fucking backs up this sort of stuff. He went to UW-Madison, after all.
Okay.
But the truth of
Probably
the matter is I was
shitlib.
missing these clues, these breadcrumbs that were being dropped around him, kind of testing the water.
Before I had transitioned, I had like a piece missing to me and it just didn't feel right. And I was nervous to tell my parents.
Which one are you coloring?
This one,
Which one?
the treehouse one.
Oh, I like that.
This is all
When I
propaganda, dude. It's just like all fucking heart-wrenching music and whatnot. But dude, these kids are just like fucking, yeah. Can we go to the pool today? No. Depressing music starts playing. The dads in these videos always look dead inside. Yeah, soy Anders, exactly. Ton of sausage for 4 people, especially with 2 of them being children. Whatever. It's probably like someone said like vegan soy sausage. When I was 8, all I could think about was why the moon chasing me. Why was the moon chasing me everywhere? Yeah, I was thinking about like, I don't know, fantasy stuff, right? Like, probably like basically like ripping off like either books or video games or movies or cartoons and you know what I mean? Like, probably having your own renditions of those stories, in your backyard. That's basically what it is. But no, like, it's gathering around the table talking about like gender hormone injection, transition, pronoun, like. Like, but now it's like fast forward a year or 2 later, and this kid is gonna like, whatever modern version of this kid is gonna have to wear a fucking face muzzle, like, like a snot rag, and it's gonna have to fucking just be isolated. And I can't even imagine, dude. Fuck.
Told them, and
Just like coming of age today, it's
they
just a
said that
nightmare.
they accepted me.
Even
I was
thinking
like
about it.
super happy because I know a lot of trans kids don't have that, and that.
Dude, this kind of shit though, I mean, come on. When transgender kids transition, medical risks are both known and unknown. Okay, it's just like iffy, man. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't even be fucking allowed. It's basically just punching holes into people and like puberty blockers, putting a pause on puberty. Last couple of years have seen a burgeoning awareness in society of what it means to be a transgender as an adult, but new doctors like those at Anne and Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago are helping children who identify as transgender negotiate their journey into adulthood. Oh my god. For earlier generations of transgender people, the only way to transition physically was through surgery or taking hormones as adults. However, new medical options are now allowing children to start the process of transitioning at younger ages. So basically, from my perspective, okay, like, the parents of these kind of kids, like this kind of wacko parent, they're picking up all kinds of signals and propaganda from articles like this that I've thankfully archived, okay? You know, if you're looking at stuff like this, try to archive it. Doctors tread carefully navigating medical interventions that carry risks that are both known and unknown. Yikes, dude. So it's like, they look at stuff like this, but they probably like, you know, they have very selective on what shows them that it's fucking potentially damaging, and they want to only hear about weird, like, niche examples of it being affirming. And I think overall this just is kind of like it's just mutilation, you know? It's just grooming fucking mentally ill or like mentally or emotionally vulnerable people, and then just eventually mutilating them. When someone makes the decision to transition, dude, this language is biased in and of itself. Part of that process can be social, choosing a new name, changing pronouns, wearing different clothes, and part of it can be medical. One of the most recent medical developments is the use of puberty blockers to treat children who are transgender or gender nonconforming. The medications, which suppress the body's production of estrogen or testosterone, essentially pause the changes that would occur. A lot of these lefties are claiming that it's reversible. I mean, I don't think that's true necessarily. It's really what these puberty blockers do. They allow these families the opportunity to hit a pause button to prevent natal puberty until we know that that's either the right or the wrong direction for their particular child. It's the wrong direction half of the time because they commit suicide half the time. Like, those of us who are not psychotic know that. I mean, dude, even when it's trying to be, like, critical of or non-biased, it's still biased in favor of this psychosis, dude. Doctors who use puberty blockers say they allow children who experience gender dysphoria the time and space to explore and settle on their gender identity. What makes treatment tricky is that there is no test that can tell whether a child experiencing distress about their gender will grow up to be transgender. No, yeah, because most of the people grow out of it. Like, most of them, the vast majority. Yeah, existing minority children, yeah. Most of them get over it. Most of it is probably just parents misinterpreting, you know? This stuff is just creepy, man. Starting hormones for kids, like, anything short of, like, no, this is malpractice and mutilation. Like, I just don't want to fucking hear it, dude.
They said that they accepted me. I was, like, super happy because I know a lot of
We live in hell. Yeah, life in hell, dude.
Have that, and that's sad.
Who was the first person you told?
My best friend, no. I told somebody who was my friend, but their parent is transphobic, so I can't be friends with them. They said they agreed with their parent, but also agreed with me. And honestly, if somebody, like, does think transphobic ways are okay, then I don't want to have a relationship with them.
You know, remember when, like, maybe several years ago when we were being told that it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, that we just won't associate. But then it became like, oh, speeches are getting shut down, people are getting deplatformed off the internet. Oh, you don't want to put a certain decal in your business's window. Okay, well, now BLM is going to come through and burn your business down and, like, you know, ruin your business in some way. Cancel, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, that's what these psychos are being used for. Like, they're being used as just the street thug wing and the social media, like, brainwashing wing of banksterism. It's just meant to make people stupid and just not... I don't know. It's just to make them docile and stupid.
He just now, a month ago, started hormone blockers. It's an implant.
You should be put in a facility and re-educated.
It is to prevent his puberty. It will prevent a menstruation cycle and breast development, which would cause a lot of havoc mentally and physically for him if he were to start developing those second sex characteristics. Can you show me what the blocker looks like that's implanted? First show me in your arm. Where is it?
It's right there.
Right there? Can I feel it? Mm-hmm. Does it hurt?
People were docile and stupid from birth, and they're just catering to them. I mean, there's a lot of extra things that make people stupid and docile. I mean, all the media that we grew up with, you know. I mean, I remember being, I honestly was a shit-lib throughout my 20s, dude, and I think it was because of education systems and media and boomer parents who claimed to be conservative, but they didn't, you know, we've been through all of this. They claimed to be conservative, but they were really just rhinos who only cared about, like, materialism and not much else. That's pretty
feels
much
weird,
it, dude.
but it doesn't hurt.
And what's the sample look like that you have?
It looks like this.
And he is counting down the days until he can start testosterone, which would be the first time something permanent would be happening.
Yikes.
Because at that point, it would affect fertility.
I hate the way people like this talk. I don't even know how to... It's like they're talking as if they think they're a doctor, right? Or that, like, you know, like, let me rewind for a second. You know, let me...
Permanent would be happening. Because at that point, it would affect fertility.
It would affect fertility. So we do affect fertility.
And go on to testosterone. Your eggs would never mature. You would have to go through female
What BLM
puberty
rallies?
for that, which is something you could do.
I mean, maybe,
I
probably
could,
not.
but I don't want to.
Why?
Because it's uncomfortable
What's
to think of that. I'm a guy, and it's like if any other guy thought about being a woman, that's uncomfortable.
And you've always said you wanted to be a parent.
Yeah.
What is this, like, Ursula-looking beast? It's like, you can tell this person has, like, an extra A-type personality, and is probably just, like, pressuring this sort of ideology onto these two kids. The kid, I mean, you know, both of our children are trans. Like, what are the odds of that?
So, what are you gonna do?
Like, 0, because it's fake, and, again... Ursula has to fucking brainwash you into, I mean, like, Annie Wilkes from fucking, from fucking Misery here has to fucking, get inside your head.
About that if you can't have your own child.
Adopting, like, is a great idea to me.
Ugh.
Do people ever wonder if you're too young to know if you're trans?
Yeah, and, like, are they too young to know that they're cis?
No, because that's normal. No, because that's people who are not having their brains fucked with by crazy radical psycho ideology from birth, by hipster, like, Berkeley granola munching, like, crazy people like this. If this person grew up in the Midwest with just, like, regular people who, just went to work and did not buy into any of this crap, I guarantee you, it'd be a normal person. I would have nothing to do with any of this stuff.
I transitioned first, so I think that helped Olivia see that it was okay to be trans.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Is it bigger than yesterday's, or is that...
I think it's actually smaller.
That made it easier for her to come out and tell my parents because she knew that they would be accepting.
So it's like copying the older sister.
Sunset, it
Not just her
actually
brother.
came with the name, and this is Moonlight. It actually came with the name.
What do you think the pod mom does for work? Probably the member of some 501c3 nonprofit that agitates for, this sort of thing in schools or in media of some, you know what I mean? Like, it could like cross over with the BLM stuff. Otherwise, she might be like a social worker, teacher. You know what I mean? What's the other thing? Activist of some sort,
That happened twice.
Olivia said she was transgender from the age of 4 until 5, and we allowed her to wear whatever she wanted, but she didn't socially transition until she was 5 years old and entering kindergarten. I would say that it was
kindergarten. No.
less shocking because we had just had a child.
See, if this guy was a real man, it would have just been like, no. It would have just been like a booming, like, resonating no. You know what I mean? Just not unlike the audit dude we just watched. Like how alpha that guy was.
Transition, and we had just educated ourselves about gender. A
No,
lot
you
of
didn't.
people think that it
You proceeded to indoctrinate yourself.
must be a
Bullshit.
copycat situation where the younger one's just mimicking the older one,
Yep.
thinking that the older one's getting some kind of praise or feedback and they want the same attention, which makes
Yep.
sense, which is why we also hesitated in terms of jumping into another social transition.
The other thing about these lefty hipster Portlandia types, like these, you know, these Ursula looking, but then they'll also be like malnourished, wiry, pointy faced kind of people. So they always have that, not only the up talking and the vocal fry, but they always sound like they have a fucking COVID coof or something, you know, like they always sound like they're stuffed up in some way. Uh-oh. I think I'm back. Am I fucking back? I think I may be back. I think I'm back. Yeah, I'm back, all right.
But this is who she is, and this is
He?
where we are.
I reacted to Olivia transitioning like most older siblings would, which is kind of like, but really? Even though I'm trans, I got
Because it is just like a battle for
a little
attention.
defensive because I thought
Exact-
it was
yep.
my thing.
Exactly, it's a thing. Exactly, dude. It's a trendy thing. There you go.
But
They're
now
admitting it.
I saw, and
It's a trendy thing that came out like 7 to 12 years ago because of the internet.
still
That's
see
it.
that Olivia is a girl and that she always will be a girl.
He helped me
No, that's not, no.
by making me confident because
You didn't know I
you're
was,
like my first supporter, so it made me very
but like, I think we get along pretty well, and when we don't, it's not like we stay mad at each other forever. Because we can't.
It's all fucking weird, man. It's all just hippy dippy fucking.
Olivia.
Yes.
Olivia?
Yes.
Luckily with Olivia, she's so young. She's only 7.
Luckily with Olivia, she's so young. She's only 7. So we can really, really mold her mind.
The first thing would be a hormone blocker,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
not
Oh yeah, it's just treating your kids like a fucking project, like a you know, stuffed animal or something.
until she would hit stage
Like a
2
toy.
of puberty. As of right now, we just follow
like
her
a
lead.
novelty.
All right, let's head out.
And we parent, for those of you who think that we're just following our children around and doing nothing.
Yeah, we do.
For anyone who says that we're pushing an agenda,
Yep.
I would ask them to look at their own children. If you can't find a way to love your child,
What do you
and
mean?
your faith or your fears are more important than your
Yeah, oh yeah, you're just scared. I know, of course. Yeah, see, this is them gaslighting
own
us.
child, then don't look
You don't care for your own child because you're scared. That's what it is. Because you don't want to punch a hole in your kids, whatever. Like,
at me, look at yourself.
I mean, that's basically what it leads up to eventually. Is like a guy like punching a vajayjay into himself.
Are going about this because we're listening to our children and because we're doing a lot of research. The research has proven that we're doing the right thing.
No.
I learned the scary statistics of what happens when a parent is not supportive of their transgender
Oh,
child.
really? And what are those?
The high amount of suicide that occurs scared me so much that I knew that no matter what, fear
So she's attributing the high level of suicide to not transitioning when we know what the evidence shows
or hesitation
already,
we had or concern that the only thing our children could and should and would feel from us would be love and acceptance.
There was a grieving process
Just
for
see,
me.
that always just sounds nice, but I mean, love and acceptance of what? Of delusion?
When both
Of dysphoria? I mean, of confusion?
of my children transitioned.
I don't understand.
It wasn't because I didn't love my child anymore. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with me navigating a world that I just knew nothing about. It was very scary, and as time has gone on...
Dude, nobody should know anything about it. Your kids would not have been interested in it had they not known anything about it.
I've learned...
Like, people in the comments are saying, I was playing with, you know, action figures and, like, thinking about the moon when I was that age. I had absolutely no inclination to think about gender fucking ideology. What the fuck?
There is community, there is support, and this is real.
Nope.
There is a concern from a lot of people that this could be a phase and this ultimately may not be who they are, but knowing that they're going to always have the experience of love and acceptance from us is key. We will love and accept them if they come to us tomorrow and say that they've changed their mind. We will love and accept them if they don't. And we actually do check-ins with them that they are happy and that they are confident in the gender and the name and the pronouns and that there isn't any kind of wave.
It's the constant checking in. You see all these different hints that this is just being rehearsed for them and like set up for them, that they want this. The parents want this trendy thing.
Hi.
Hi.
It's most important to hear from the transgender
I'm sorry,
community itself because we're not living that experience.
Right?
We're the parents of these people. We can absolutely give you our take on our experience, but the true meat of the story is to engage transgender people themselves.
Water!
The fact that our kids are transgender is one of the most unextraordinary things about them. They are both so amazing, and it's not because they're trans.
But is it like all you talk about?
Beyond that, they are funny and bright.
Like, it's, you know, I'd like, how can I look into what this chick does for a living? Like I'm saying, it probably is, wait, parents, Ben and Sarah, that is so oy vey, alicious. Ben and Sarah in Berkeley, transgender politics.
Bright and silly and caring and loving and compassionate. All sorts of amazing things, and gender is just one piece of that.
Yeah, the research does say the exact opposite, but they just confidently assert it. They continue to just confidently assert it over and over and over again until it becomes true. And enough people's just crazy mixed up heads.
Being trans is just a little part of me. My family, my friends, a lot of things make me me.
We're not different. We shouldn't be treated better or worse.
Overall, I'm like super happy with my situation. I have all I could ask for, especially with my coming out and with where I am now. I have all the support I need.
I gotta say, man, I wouldn't know what to do in a situation like that. I would have absolutely no idea. Like, if your kid at like age 8 to 12 or something comes to you, and we know it's like they've been scooped up by like internet or school propaganda, right? You know, homeschooling is ideal, but not everybody can fucking do that. You know, it's sad as fuck that a lot of families might feel the need to effectively drop their kid off at a frickin', I mean, where they're getting their heads filled with this crap by these monsters, right? I mean, it's pretty sketch, dude. It's pretty fucking sketch.